32 minutes past the hour here on 91.9 FM, WLJS Jacksonville. That was the one and only Usher with Moving Mountains. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Late Night with Ed Moore III. Atlanta's Got Talent. We're here discussing the Atlanta entertainment industry, as well as Atlanta-based businessmen and businesswomen and Atlanta-based aspiring young artists. I'm sitting here with Miss Sha Clark, who is the CEO of the Atlanta-based marketing or promotions company by the name of Deliciously Crunk Entertainment. I'm also here with Miss Audreanna Hatcher, who is the executive assistant to Miss Clark for Deliciously Crunk Entertainment, and I'm also sitting here with Atlanta-based artist, R&B and rap artist, Mr. Kayto Reed. I'm just sitting here discussing Atlanta media and what it is like trying to be an up-and-coming artist within the city of Atlanta. First of all, I want to focus the attention on you now, Mr. Reed. First of all, what made you want to get involved in the music industry? I know everyone has different reasons for why. Some want to inspire, some want to make money, and some just want to use their voice. But why did you want to get involved into the music industry?
I discovered I had the talent. I was dancing. I was around a musical family, and we was forced to get up and perform in front of family members. So I kind of caught on to that. But then once I got, a little older, and I just started singing in school and stuff, and started singing for, the little assembly programs and things like that. So I caught the bug just like anybody else would, and you see the audience's response, and then it's like, okay, I could do this. And then once you start to get a little bit better and better and get out there and start doing it, it's like this is something I can really make a career out of. And but not to get too deep, but it's really what I'm wanting to do after music. Music is a plateau for me. So it's bigger things outside of that I want to do also.
Do you have more of an enjoyment for R&B, or do you have more of an enjoyment for rap? Because I know you do both. Do you have an enjoyment for one as opposed to the other? Or do you enjoy them both equally?
Well, the rap thing, it just comes with the territory, because I am like an R&B hip hop artist, but it just comes with the territory. I'm not a certified rapper, but it works in my music because the way things are going, I have to adapt. So I definitely got into that. I like the singing part the most, But
do people try to discredit your work? As you said, you're not a certified rapper. Do some individuals try to discredit your work or not take your work seriously?
Well, I don't think I've been harshly critiqued as far as the rap is concerned, because people know that I'm just I am a R&B singer, and that it does come with the territory, because now the way things are going, you got people like Drake. For instance, he's a rapper, but he can sing a whole song, and it is what it is. We know that he's not a singer. We know he's known for rapping, so we don't really harshly critique his singing. So it's the same difference with an R&B guy doing it also.
Okay. Kind of like when the song about, I think it was probably about 10 or 11 years ago, when the song came out with Ja Rule and Ashanti. When Ja Rule, is it kind of like that when Ja Rule was trying to sing in that song? Or
yeah,
was he
was a more thuggish,
or was he really trying to sing, or was he just kind of?
I don't think he was trying as hard as Drake is trying. Drake is really trying to go in on the singing thing. So we could whisper about it and say and critique him, but it sounds good actually. So it's a expansion of the expression. Expansion
of the expression. I also want to kind of switch gears here a little bit. I know you do say you perform as far as the rap industry is concerned. There are a lot of people out there. If you just watch the news long enough, you'll be able to know this. A lot of people like to criticize the rap industry, saying that they have a negative influence on American society, children more specifically. And a lot of people, I don't want to say blame, but a lot of people do blame or put some kind of emphasis on rappers and the lyrics that they're putting out, that children hear, and saying that they're the cause for children people wanting to be so violent and putting these things in people's heads. As an up and coming rapper, do you worry about these these things being said about you, saying that you're, because those are some things to think about. Do you worry about people saying those things about you, saying that you're contributing to the demise of society with the lyrics, being a rapper?
Well, I can definitely understand where they're coming from. I think the thing with rappers, they're more fluent when it comes to telling you what's going on in the hood, and people that's from the hood don't really criticize that, because what they're saying is like watching the news. It's like listening to them talk about what happened down the street, across the street, a shootout, anything, somebody selling drugs down the street. To me, it's like turning on the 6 o'clock news. It's not worse as turning on the news every day and hearing the stories of the hood. It's just on record, it's on wax, and we're entertained by it. But as far as rappers are concerned, I think things are changing a little bit, because people are understanding that, especially after Jay-Z was on Oprah Winfrey, because she said she would never put a rapper on there. And there's a lot of rappers, like I think Ludacris and maybe Ice Cube or something, that were kind of hurt by that. But Jay-Z was on there. He kind of changed her perspective about her influencing so many people. It kind of, changed things, because once I saw her in Marcy Projects hanging on with Jay-Z and having these extra video interviews with him, I was like, okay, that'll change things, because he still says what he wants to say in his music, but she has an understanding now. And I've even seen an extra commercial with her holding his book saying, I get it, and that's all that matters, that people get it, because hip-hop, it has crossed so many race boundaries, and it's doing what it does since the 80s. It's brought people together. So if we break out boundaries and racism, music is the perfect place to do that.
Why do you think Miss Winfrey didn't want to have rappers on her show?
Because of the lyrical content, because I can't say that she forgot where she came from, but just when we see her biographies and stuff, and we see exactly where Oprah comes from, she comes from the same environment that a lot of us come from, poverty. And I think she just at some point separated herself from that, which is fine, because once you grow, but you always have to remember where you come from. And I think that's what she had to get back to, that, this music is for the kids. It's for, for them to express themselves and say where they come from and what's going on in the hood. And Jay-Z is the top rapper. Why not go ahead and have him on here and try to understand this stuff, because it keeps coming at me, even though I think Ice Cube and Ludacris, they kind of took it hard, but I think Jay-Z was a perfect fit to be on her show, since by him being a world-renowned rapper at top of his game right now.
Your words, the lyrics, the lyrical content in your music, would some people find it your lyrical content questionable? Definitely.
If you're an adult, you should be listening to it, and it's not preferably for kids. And if your child is listening to it, then you didn't do the proper censoring for your household. I'm going to express myself and entertain adults, to the best of my ability. Now, if a child happens to hear that wasn't my intent. But if that happens to seep into your house, you wouldn't allow me in your house if I was a total stranger and I knocked on your door. So don't allow certain things for your child to listen to coming through your house. It's the same concept to me. I'm an artist, I'm expressing myself, but at the same time, I'm entertaining adults. And I just heard an interview with Nicki Minaj on ABC just recently, and she had to go through the same thing, which all artists have to, So she said the same thing I'm saying. It's not for kids, and just so happen kids are on YouTube reciting her lyrics and stuff like that, but that wasn't her intent. The parents allowed it.
It's interesting. In my almost 20 years of being on this earth, that is the first time I have heard somebody say that I'm entertaining adults. I'm not entertaining, I'm not entertaining 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds. And I think that's important that we get that message across. Just like there are other things out there that are meant for adults, but guess what? Children still get their hands on those things too. How many of y'all out there watch Adult Swim, on Cartoon Network? Just because it says this, parental discretion is advised, how many children do you honestly think are going to turn off the TV and say, oh, it says parental discretion is advised. Okay, I'm going to turn on to, Nickelodeon.
Right.
No.
right. like, once again, it's the parents. You know, I have a 6-year-old, so I'm gonna walk by and check her every 15 minutes, and like, I didn't tell you to turn it at. Like, why are you watching that? You know, so you can't just throw the blame on an artist, because the artist is not responsible for raising your child.
Is that hard, trying to come against that, trying to be an aspiring young artist? Is that hard? Is that kind of like, you know, it's just like, ugh, you know, I wish people would just lay off of me because I'm not the problem. Do you feel that way sometimes?
I take responsibility to spread what I just said. Raise your kids. You know, raise your kids properly. I'm going to raise mine properly. I'm going to censor out what needs to be censored for them, and hopefully they do the same thing instead of trying to blame, you know, Jay-Z and Nicki Minaj or whoever, you know, your child ends up listening to. So, ladies,
I want to get you all's input on what he just said. How do you feel about, you know, what he just said in regards to the lyrical content? Since, you know, you all are promoting his material and promoting his music, do you all feel the same way that he feels in regards to what society may be saying you're contributing to, you know, being what is put out there?
I mean, I definitely do agree with what Kayto was saying, that you have to censor your children, you know, and you have to raise your children a certain way. So if you teach them one thing, that's what you teach them, but you can't blame others for what you haven't taught them or what you have taught them. You know, it's plenty of people who come from good homes, you know, what the world classifies as good homes.
Right.
But at the same time, they out here doing crazy stuff.
That is true.
So you can't just say, well, oh, they must have been listening to, you know, XYZ's music, that's why they acting like that. You know, and a lot of people blame hip-hop, but who's to say, hey, people listening to rock is not doing, you know, crazy stuff. So you can't,
country music or
bluegrass, or anything, just period.
Right.
You can't just base the music and say, well, this is why my child is acting this way because they heard this. You're going to hear stuff on television. You're going to hear it on the radio. You're going to hear all types of things. But another thing that some people do is they censor their children too much and shelter them too much. So when they get out in the real life, they don't know what to do. And that's when they become out of control.
And is that hard, ladies, trying to be businesswomen in this industry? I know you all promote not only Kayto Reed's music, but some other artists as well with this same, I guess, you know, sexually explicit lyrical content or profanity. Is that hard, trying to be businesswomen promoting this music when or Audreanna, since you already spoke, Shay, Audreanna, is that hard, trying to be a businesswoman in that aspect, promoting this kind of music?
Well, for me personally, it's not really hard because I respect all artists and I respect the music that they put out and just their freedom of speech. And I don't think it's fair to the artists for us to say that they can't say certain things or they can't express themselves a certain way. You know, all music should be respected, and at the end of the day, if you don't like what's being said, then you shouldn't listen to it. You know, find somebody else to listen to, you know, but all artists should be respected no matter what they say, because music is music at the end of the day.
Mr. Reed, women that are close to you, such as people maybe like your mother or your grandmother or aunt or any other women that may, you know, put themselves in your company, how do they respond to those lyrics? For instance, people in your family, like I said, your mother, your grandmother, how do they respond to those lyrics? I've always wanted to know that. I'm very interested to know that. How do they respond to those lyrics as women?
Once again, I grew up in a musical household. My grandma, she loved the Temptations. She loved Al Green. She loved, you know, the Four Tops. And a lot of times when I hear their lyrics, I mean, by the fact that I'm doing R&B, I pretty much lean toward more love. In my music is, love with your partner, whoever you're with,